Passwords are leaked on the dark web, credentials, certain emails, and these things. And it happens, it's been happening. And if you're not looking at security news, which most of you probably don't, your information might be out there right now. I'm just gonna share a few recent security vulnerabilities and hacks. Everything was taken, all your password, all your account information. Just to talk about some security issues, security vulnerabilities. There's a big concern about security in the workplace. Just to give you an idea, one thing that we always advise is that you have your work phone and you have your personal phone. It's kind of like all the movies that we watched, Batman, The Matrix, or, some of these movies. And I got the bat phone, the bat line, the spy phone. The reason they have it that way is because they have a secure, device. So I guess the title of this video should be something about, I don't know, maybe cell phone vulnerabilities or personal smartphone versus a work phone. Because what happens in a typical day, you wake up in the morning, you check your phone, you check your emails, and you have a lot of applications, third-party apps and fun apps and social media apps and useful apps. But no one typically thinks about all the security vulnerabilities that have happened in the past and that have been going on in the present. So you get to this certain point that you realize, and it's hopefully not after a ransomware attack, that I should probably be a little more concerned about security. Because once your data is out there, it's just out there. It's so typical to see these situations where, the weakest link is the social engineered person who didn't realize that they were being hacked and targeted from their emails and kind of fished into giving out this information. And now because of that, whatever your company is, all of your clients in the list and the databases, the emails, the personal information, the patient information, all of a sudden is leaked out on the internet. And now there's so many dark web, you hear about it, passwords are leaked on the dark web, credentials, certain emails, and these things. And it happens, it's been happening. And if you're not looking at security news, which most of you probably don't, your information might be out there right now. So I'm just going to share a few recent security vulnerabilities and hacks that you might look at and see if you kind of fit into that category, to see if there's something that you might need to do to change the way that you and your organization view security. Okay, so I'm just gonna start a little screen share here. So I just did a basic recent smartphone vulnerabilities 2020. Okay, and just to see what came up. Okay, and this is to kind of give you, I'm hoping that I can give you kind of an idea of what happened here that you can decode instead of needing to go to a dictionary. I'm going to kind of break it down and what they say layman's terms, right? I'm just going to plain English of what happened here. Some of you are a lot more tech savvy. Don't have to worry about it. I also did a search here of the 15 biggest data breaches of the 21st century. Okay, so let's just go through a couple of these here, just to give you an idea. Okay, first on the list here, Adobe Friend Finder, Canva, Dubsmash, eBay, Equifax. Okay, I'm just going to talk about a few, and maybe how about LinkedIn, because I'm sure a lot of you use LinkedIn on your professional networks, right? Let's just skip down. I want to see what happened. Let's see what happened with LinkedIn. I'll read it here. Okay, well, this was 2012 and 2016. 165 million user accounts. Here's the details. As the major social network for business professionals, LinkedIn has become an attractive proposition for attackers looking to conduct social engineering attacks. However, it has also fallen victim to leaking user data in the past. In 2012, the company announced that 6.5 million unassociated passwords, were stolen by attackers and posted into a Russian hacker forum. However, it wasn't until 2016 that the full extent of the incident was revealed. The same hacker selling MySpace data was found to be offering the email addresses and passwords of around 165 million LinkedIn users for just 5 Bitcoins, around $2,000 at the time. LinkedIn acknowledged that it had been made aware of the breach and said it has reset the passwords of affected accounts. Okay. One thing that I can't stress enough, let's look at the time gap, okay? You know, it even reads here, and it's, you know, in 2012, there was an announcement that were stolen, okay? It wasn't until 2016 that the full extent of the incident was revealed. Now, just imagine, hey, there's something wrong with your account. Okay. 4 years later, okay, now we're going to tell you what happened. Everything was taken, all your password, all your account information. For 4 years, are you telling me that it lay dormant? Or for 4 years, someone was able to monitor my everyday, activities and potentially track me, trace me, potentially sell the data without me knowing for 4 years? Just things to think about, okay? That's kind of just the idea, behind, the breaches here. And, for 4 years is a long time to not know that something's going on, with your security, with your account, with your information. Okay, so my question is always, what does that mean for everything else? Does this happen? Is this something that's already happening? Questions that we should ask ourselves. Okay, now I'm going to get back to the bat phone in a minute. So I just want you to kind of, think about that concept. I'll just read the first couple here on the list, the top two, only because they were obviously, the most popular here. Let's go to Adobe. 153 million user records. Adobe originally reported that hackers had stolen nearly 3 million encrypted customer credit card records, plus login data for an undetermined number of user accounts. Later that month, Adobe raised that estimate to include IDs and encrypted passwords for 38 million active users. Krebs reported that a file posted just days earlier appears to include more than 150 million username and hashed passwords taken from Adobe. Weeks of research showed that the hack had also exposed customer names, IDs, passwords, and debit and credit card information. Wow. An agreement in August 2015 called for Adobe to pay a $1.1 million in legal fees and undisclosed amount to users to settle claims of violating the Customer Records Act and unfair business practices in November 2016. The amount paid to customers reported at $1 million. So in looking at, this one, right? Well, now we're talking about IDs, encrypted passwords. We're talking about credit card information. Everyone probably remembers Target and remembers, a lot of these accounts. Now we're talking account related, okay? We're not talking necessarily social engineering. There's been a number of password applications, password key, password logging hacks. Mainly, what type of tools can you use to protect your passwords? Well, it's like the normal thing. You don't want to create one password and use it for all your accounts. Because once someone has your email account and that same password you've been using over and over and over, well, they can just log on to anything and expect to get into your information. And if they do that, Well, there's your kind of everything, your social engineering, but then it's also, we're talking about basically it takes some knowledge and understanding to know what the threats are in order for you to defend yourself and your organization against these threats. And this is just a small example of some of the hacks and vulnerabilities that went out there. Okay, let's go to the mobile security threats because this is what we're really talking about. Okay. Now, this article you can see comes from csoonline.com. They wrote a great article here about security. I think they say some pretty good things that summarize quite a few security items. Mobile security is at the top of every company's worry list these days. And for a good reason. Nearly all workers now routinely access corporate data from smartphones. Sound familiar? Corporate data, smartphones. Nearly all workers now routinely access this corporate data, and it's a trend that's grown even more prominent thanks to the ongoing global pandemic. The vast majority of devices interacting with corporate data are now mobile. In fact, some 60%, according to this site, and that number is only bound to keep climbing as the world acclimates to our new remote work reality. Okay, so there has been changes. The highlight of this article is mobile device accessing corporate data. All that means keeping sensitive information out of the wrong hands is an increasingly intricate puzzle. The stakes, suffice it to say, are higher than ever. The average cost of a corporate data breach is a whopping $3.86 million, according to a 2020 report. So social engineering's a big deal, and everyone knows, when someone calls and says, or you get the email, right? Hey, Dad, I need some money. I'm in trouble. Hey, Mom, I need some help. And, you answer it because you think that might be, they went on vacation. That must be them. Those calls come in, the emails come in, and before you know it, are your corporate data. What I really want us to talk more about is the data leakage that can happen from third-party applications. That's why it's so important not to have third-party applications on your corporate device. Because if your corporate device, your company device, let's just talk about metadata for a little bit. Think of metadata as information that your applications log. So I'll give you an example. You launch your application, you say, okay, open. And then on your system somewhere in there, it says, this program successfully opened. Okay. And then you enter your password. The password entered successfully. Email user was successful, and it was, user@youremail.com. Some of that information can contain a lot of sensitive material that a potential application has system access to be able to access. Okay, and once it accesses that data, and this is a third-party app, read the disclaimer. They're allowed to share this information with any of their third parties. Now, what am I talking? I'm not saying all of them do that, no, but some of them do. Is that they say they share certain information to help your experience or to help or for marketing purposes. Who knows where those third-party apps are? The third-party affiliates. Okay, and the summary is, without getting too far into details, is the amount of hacks. Just do the search one day. Just look these simple articles up. The biggest data breaches, the mobile data breaches, and then ask a professional. Ask someone ask me, and I can help you to understand what that means, and we can come up with ways to secure your data. I'll have another video that talks about that later, but I just want to really talk about the importance of having a corporate phone and a personal phone. There's other ways to do it. There's software that can actually kind of split the profiles of your phone and kind of create a private barrier between your corporate functioning software versus your personal. Some of that works well, and there's other software that can help mitigate the risks, such as mobile device, antivirus, and security solutions. There is a lot of ways to protect your company data. So I think, yeah, we're probably over that about a 15-minute mark. I don't want to, this tech talk can definitely be boring, put you to sleep. Let's talk more about this on the next video. I'll see you all next time.